Scotland's farmers are being urged to harness one of our most abundant natural resources and turn it into their new cash crop. Incentives for erecting farm-scale wind turbines are so great that the planning authorities have been inundated with applications.
I live in rural Aberdeenshire. I love the area. It's quiet and there's plenty of space to go for a wander with Corrie, my ageing retriever. Most of my neighbours are farmers trying to make a living from this land, and some are turning to a new crop.
Over the last couple of years, wind turbines have been springing up everywhere. From my home here, I can see at least 7. And these aren't vast wind farms that cover whole hillsides. These are 1, 2 or even 3 turbines that have been set up on individual farms.
Aberdeenshire Council has been particularly supportive of these types of projects in the past, and that shows in the landscape. But these smaller scale developments are sprouting up across the country.
The Scottish Government is committed to producing 80% of our electricity from renewable sources, and it would seem that Scotland's farmers are uniquely placed to help them meet that target. What's changed in recent years to suddenly make it profitable?
The main difference has been the incentive from the government. The first scheme made it viable for larger turbines to be installed. Since then, the feed-in tariff has come in, and that encourages the smaller systems. So the subsidy is the important thing. It makes it viable, but it means that the government will get the renewable energy that it desperately needs.
If farmers want to put up turbines on their land, they have 2 options. Let a big company develop on the land and get a rent in return, or go it alone and form their own company to develop their own site. It's far more risky, but can be far more rewarding if, and that's a big if, they can get planning permission. That's what John Slee and his family did.
Planning is a costly business, tens of thousands of pounds. There's cash up front as well before you get planning. If you don't get planning permission, then potentially that could all be lost. In comparison to buying sheep or cattle, it's quite a lot of money. But then the rewards are there, and hopefully will continue to be there if everything goes according to plan.
On average, it will take farmers between 7 and 12 years to pay off the cost of the grid connection, the turbines and their construction. It varies hugely depending on the price that they can get for the power they produce and the wind speed on their site.
A good site in Aberdeenshire could potentially generate 180,000 per annum per turbine.
The income from the turbines has given John and his family the confidence to invest in the farm, including building this brand new steading.
There's a massive community benefit. Building the sheds, for example, local contractors were used, masons, steel fabricators, so that's a benefit that maybe people don't see.
It's estimated that for every wind turbine built directly by a local farmer, 1.5 new jobs are created in the area. However, that figure drops to just quarter of a job if a big developer builds the turbine. Maitland Mackey has long campaigned for local ownership.
Big guys come and offer you substantive rents. It's for a farmer, a £40,000 rent per year it looks a lot of money for a start, but it's the peanut end of the job. It's for every 40,000 that he might have got, he could have had £500,000 annual returns. If you had 3,000 of this type of installation across Scotland, that would produce about £1 billion of annual profit into the rural sector. Put that into perspective, profits from farming in Scotland is £500 million. So it would double the returns to the rural sector and get the communities owning that instead of all that money going away.
They sit in very well with the farm. Obviously they're just up there, we check them every day just like the cattle and sheep, make sure they're turning. If one shuts off, I'm straight on the phone. What's wrong with the turbine? Let's get it up and running. I don't need to calve them or lamb them in the middle of the night, so once they're up and running, they are slightly easier than keeping cattle or sheep, yes.
In February, the government announced a new loan scheme to help farmers and communities fund the pre-planning stage of a development. It's hoped the fund will encourage more local ownership of turbines. Good news for farmers, but obviously many more turbines will have an impact on our landscape. So what do you think about the proliferation of farm-scale turbines? Let us know. Landward at bbc.co.uk.
Sadly,